explain to someone that, because I mean, I don't think we've ever been in an era where more people, especially like younger people, like if you ask them what they want to do, content creation, YouTuber,
it's a dream job now, man.
It's so maybe kind of walk me through, like, how does your business make money? How do you make a living from content creation? Mm-hmm. Do you have any other outlets from that? Like, are you more leveraging your platforms for other business ventures, or is that the business itself? I'd love to hear kind of mechanics of that, because someone might be watching and be like, I'm curious of how to get into that. Yeah.
When I tell people like I'm an influencer, I feel like they don't take it seriously. Like hobby. Okay, and what else?
Yeah.
So how it works for me in my personal business is my primary income comes from endorsement deals.
Got it.
And brand partnerships. So I would say 97% of it is inbound.
Okay.
So I don't really like reach out, call, like I don't do that. It's usually inbound, and how that works is, people reach out for a set number of deliverables, whether that be videos and reels, whether that be, stories. Carousel posts on Instagram, and then from there is a price point associated with producing those. There's a lot of semantics involved with like at what capacity the brand can utilize the content that I create, because of course there's a price for how much I charge for posting it to my page, but like what about them using it for organic usage or paid usage for like to run ads with the content that I make. So it's a different price points for different things for me. That's my primary line of business. Earlier this year, God blessed me with the opportunity to be able to design a collection with JCPenney.
Come on.
It was 27 pieces. This shirt is actually one of the shirts I designed.
You designed that?
Yeah.
Dude, that's fresh.
Like my name is on the back of this shirt.
Shut up.
But
come on now.
Yeah, so 27 pieces. They sold it in 150 stores nationwide.
Shoot.
And that was a subset of content. Like it was content adjacent. So of course I created content to like get the word out for the collection, but that was a different, opportunity that I never experienced before, but it was very enjoyable, a different way to service my audience. To create something that I see a need for was a different level of service for my audience. So, there's things that kind of come that are like not necessarily just like brand partnerships that come. I also do a lot of this app called LTK.
Okay.
Like to know, and it's like a third party where you kind of list certain things, like certain items and products for people to shop for directly, and you get commission based off of like, how much percentage a certain brand is paying on like those sales and those purchases. So that's like another like passive income that I use, but that's pretty much the mechanics of how my business generates income.
Gotcha. Okay. No, that's I did not know that you had your own clothes at JCPenney.
For sure.
That's
27 pieces, man. It was great. Flew to New York and designed it myself.
Really?
Yeah.
Had you ever designed pieces before?
So I had a clothing line called La Vie when I was younger.
Sounds French.
Yeah, it means the life.
Okay, in French?
In French.
Hey, let's go.
Life. Yeah, and but it was like the monogram T-shirt, so we never got to a point to like actually creating like more that we wanted to.
Right.
But that was like the extent of my design experience, but this was a whole different level, like going from scratch, like flying out there, feeling the fabrics, picking the colors, picking the designs, like getting things drawn. It was just from start to finish, it was different. I never experienced anything like it, but like to see how well it did, it was encouraging, man. It was encouraging.
What I love about that, and what I think can inspire someone is like, because you mentioned all this started from a friend saying, hey, you need a passion project. This was already a set passion and a set skill you had.
Yeah, for sure.
Of fashion.
Yeah.
And you used it, shared your wisdom, and that wisdom is generating into wealth and into finances. And I think in this new age of business, at least from what I've seen, it is a lot of turn your wisdom into wealth.
Yeah.
And utilize that. And I feel like a lot of people they don't feel like, I was actually just talking to a buddy of mine Derek Ortiz, shout out to him. He's going to be on the show too.
Okay.
He's a designer.
Okay.
Incredible designer. He started making content seriously like this year, went from like, I think it was like less than 10,000, maybe like, I don't know, 5,000 followers or whatever, to like almost 100,000.
Wow.
In like 6 months.
Wow.
And just sharing his tips on design and stuff. And we're talking through some different things that he wants to do. And he's like, man, I feel like silly, like maybe charging for this or talking about this, because I feel like, well, doesn't everybody know this? Or like, no, so they don't. I promise you. It takes me so much. I go on his page and see if, does this look good with this, or this outfit go, like, what your wisdom is not necessarily known to everybody.
No, seriously.
But I think we take ourselves out of the game. I will say I take myself out of the game of thinking what I know everybody else knows, therefore I can't own that space. I can't go all in on it.
Yeah.
What helped you to, did you ever deal with that, or just like, no, like, this is just my passion, I'm going to talk about it? Did you ever feel like, almost like, not inferior, but like, you know, like, oh man, this is just my fashion. Like, who, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I think that, so first of all, like, common sense is not as common as you think. First of all, like, let's say that, like, that is absolutely true, and we discount what we think people know. I want to second that for sure.
That's good.
For me, I don't think I necessarily dealt with like kind of feeling inferior or like, you know, my wisdom isn't worth X, Y, and Z, because I didn't have a end. I didn't have a focal point of like, hey, I want this information to produce this. I was just going from the vantage point of, you know, expression. I think that maybe starting out, I didn't feel that way. I think that we all kind of have imposter syndrome at a certain capacity, right? And I think that came thereafter. Once it did become a business, once it did start producing XYZ, you know, advocating for my worth was kind of more so the thing that I struggle with a lot, because I'm like, okay, like I was doing things on my own. I joined the agency for a small amount of time, and then, you know, I went out on my own again, and seeing what the agency thought I was worth was just like really eye-opening, because I was like, you know, I can charge this for, you know, things that I've been doing. I've been doing this for a year. You've been doing it your
whole life. Yeah.
Like, I'm going to dress well. I'm going to dress nicely.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
That's just like,
if you pay me or not.
Yeah, like, period. I'm going to do that. So it's like, to think that and to see that in real time, people were willing to pay for something that I am naturally good at, it was very interesting. And it's like, now as I've grown into it, I see how uncommon my perspective on fashion as a whole is, because my passion for fashion came from scarcity. It came from not having a lot of clothes to wear, because I was raised by a single mom who didn't have a lot to give us. So I had to make my clothes look different to make people think that I wasn't wearing the same thing over and over again. And when I started my brand, it was about range, right? Which is how to wear multiple things and versatility, right? So the tie-in is all there, because I was speaking to the version of myself who didn't have a lot. So how do you do a lot with a little? So I think that vantage point coming from scarcity, I was like, how does this create abundance?